Welcome to another amazing edition of Friday at 420. It is great to have you along, and we are about to have some fun with some outstanding local Hamilton comedians. Joining our panel, as they always do, our regulars, Mr. Manolis Zontanos.
Yes. That's me.
Yes. Do I say your name right?
You do.
I do it probably because I really go all out to try and give it some.
You say it right. Almost everybody in my life have said it wrong.
Yeah. Manolis,
Majolis, Zolta,
Zoltanos.
I've been called granola bar.
People who've known you forever. There'll be comics introducing him on stage, and they'll be like, I've known this guy for 20 years. He's one of my closest friends. We've done a million shows together. Give it up for the very funny Manolis Santos.
Yeah, I get that.
It's like you don't even know his name?
Yeah.
That is outstanding. The person doing the impression of somebody introducing Manolis incorrectly is Patrick Coppolino.
Hello.
Patrick, welcome again.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. And joining our panel of three local Hamilton comics to play our little game Friday at 420 is the lovely and talented Matt Ferguson.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Did I pronounce that correctly?
You nailed it, buddy.
I want to make sure.
It's a tough one, I know.
You a Hamilton guy?
Yeah, I live in Hamilton. Been here for a couple years now, and
How
enjoying it.
How long have you been performing stand-up comedy?
About 3 years, so a year longer than I've been here. So
where did you come from before you got here?
Dirty London, Ontario.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've dragged a few Londoners in.
Jason Allen.
Yeah. So, that's great. So compare for us Hamilton to London.
More one-way streets in Hamilton, but London is a career one-way street with comedy, so it's better over here.
Excellent. They can't get the station in London. We're all good to go. It's all good. All right, let's get right to our game. What happens here is we have our little wheel of random topics. I don't know if you can hear the wheel, but that's it. And it will land on a number. The comic will then get the random topic that's in that Bell Media envelope, and they get a go at it. They get their first shot at whatever that topic is. They can tell a story. They can say something funny about it. And then as soon as they start talking, the other comics can butt in and try to steal their airtime. We all familiar with the rules?
Yes.
All right. We've introduced a new feature. This time we're playing for something. Because I thought when we did the earlier shows, I thought, you know what? We need to be playing for something. And I thought, well, could I afford to put $20 on the table? And I thought, no, there's no way. I'm not going to do that. So instead, we're just going to play for a special award, the funniest man in the studio that day. Or woman, if there was a woman here. So that's what we're playing for, bragging rights.
All right.
Funniest person in the studio that day. You guys ready?
It's on.
Yeah. All right. Our special guest gets to spin the wheel first. Mr. Matt Ferguson, give it a whirl. What do we got there, Matthew?
It says, nice try.
No, I need the number.
I apologize.
It's 10. It's 10, man.
Yeah, 10.
The wheel spends its weekends out with our sister station K-Light, so people can spin for prizes. So that's why it says nice try on it.
Thought I didn't spin it good enough.
It's
or something.
doing double duty, the wheel is. Number 10. Let's go. Manolis is confused now. What? The wheel has two jobs? Manolis has none?
Whose sister?
All right. Interesting for an out-of-towner. The topic is Hamilton Mountain.
Hamilton Mountain.
Hamilton Mountain. What's the first thing you think of when you think of Hamilton Mountain?
I didn't know there was a mountain in Hamilton before I moved here, so I found it weird. Everybody's like, "Oh, we got to go up the mountain." I was like, "What mountain?" Like, you look around for this mountain, and it's just like
you're expecting, right? A snowy peak.
Yeah, it's just a couple of streets that go up a hill, basically.
You're on it right now.
Yeah, I'm on the mountain right now.
We're broadcasting live from the mountain.
I'm not even tied in. I'm crazy.
Don't have the special gear on.
I've seen people like walking down like the street, like whatever the street is, James or whatever. And I don't know, I just like, who walks down the mountain? It seems so sketchy to not like, they should have a zip line or something.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Well, what do you guys grew up in Hamilton? Is the mountain, does it mean, did you guys not come up to the mountain? Did you live on the mountain?
I grew up on the mountain.
Okay.
Downtown, it was like the Lion King. We're like, saw downtown, and we were never to go down there. I was terrified of downtown. I used to take the bus downtown with my mom sometimes when I was a kid, and it scared me.
It was, well, because it was just so different than the mountain, right?
Yeah.
It is a
'Cause,
very
it was so
different place.
quiet. Yeah, it's like a different city to me.
It is almost like a two-city thing. Like when
Yeah.
you go up there, like it's just so different for sure.
yeah.
Would you always get that question too when you meet new people? Like, you're from Hamilton, up the mountain or down the mountain?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like they're ready. They're
Judging you
judging
the whole
you.
way. Yeah.
They're like,
Is there a judging that goes on?
yeah. It was just apparently like if you're up the mountain, you're probably have a job, I guess.
You know what? Because I'm not originally from Hamilton. So, and when I moved here, I moved to the mountain. I mean, it didn't make any difference to me. I love the downtown. I think it's awesome. You
Yeah.
guys all live
I live downtown now. I
Yeah.
love it. I don't go up the mountain anymore. It scares me.
Just for this show. It's like the only time he comes up here is like, yeah, just for this show.
Have you ever seen a homeless person on up the mountain? Think about that,
It's true.
right? They don't- they-
You sometimes will see them in the intersections to try to
That's my
like begging
dad.
for money. That's your dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't count.
You'll see them on the on and off ramps for the link or whatever. But then I can't help but think they're coming up the mountain to get some coin and then going back down. I mean, they probably don't live on
Nobody
the
has
mountain.
money downtown.
They're saving money for that zip line.
They are. Did you? I always found it funny. I think the reference to the mountain does kind of freak me out a little bit, and I even will quite often say, we know it's not a mountain because
Yeah.
other people are like, oh, Hamilton Mountain. They go, that's not a mountain. It's like we know it's not a mountain.
Yeah.
It's an escarpment.
I thought that's why it was called downtown. So it confused me getting older. The other cities, their downtown wasn't literally downtown.
That's
You
funny.
didn't have to go
Just
down
another part
to
of
get
town.
there.
Yeah.
I never used to have the word, sorry to cut you off, I never used to have the word escarpment in my vocabulary until I moved to Hamilton. And now I use it like at least once a month. I'll like say I'm going to like drive off the escarpment when I'm upset or like something happens or like traffic,
Yeah.
Excellent. Well,
yeah.
that's good. See, if you'd stayed in London, you wouldn't have expanded your vocabulary.
Thanks, Hamilton.
This is Friday at 4:20 on Funny 820. We're sitting with our local Hamilton comics, Patrick Coppolino, Manolis Antonos, and our special guest this week, Matt Ferguson. Matt took a first spin of the wheel. We had a little go-around on Hamilton Mountain. Manolis looked bored, so we'll make him spin the wheel next. Manolis, give it a whirl, buddy. Our wheel of random topics.
It's number 7.
Number
Dude,
7. What else does number 7 say?
Nice try.
You guys, even the secondary prizing hasn't worked for you guys.
Yeah.
We got 2 nice tries.
I get that a lot from people.
Oh, it's like this one was built for you.
What is it?
Tinder.
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 Okay.
Tinder. You got a Tinder story? Yeah, have you used Tinder?
Have I? Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have used Tinder. I've been lucky on Tinder.
Okay, well, that's the whole point of Tinder.
You
Yeah.
have or
Is to be
haven't?
lucky.
I have. I have once. I have once, and then I think this. I said this one girl said to me one time. She goes, "Oh my God, you're the same age as my dad." And I think I said something like, "That's so cool. I said something like, "That's so hot. It's gonna be cool to meet him it's gonna be cool to meet him at the wedding."
Right. We can hang
And
together.
isn't your age on Tinder 10 years younger than your real age?
I used to do that. I used to. Then I just like everybody comes out of the woodwork trying to get when you do that. So
okay.
you're just better off not lying.
Right.
I did have this crazy thing that happened to me when I was on. Remember what was it before Facebook?
MySpace.
MySpace?
Yeah, MySpace. I had this crazy situation happen to me on MySpace. I was supposed to meet up with we were talking. It was like almost like Tinder before Tinder. Just met this random girl, and she was like she was supposed to meet up with me, and then I didn't hear anything from her. We were talking through MySpace, and then I get a call from her. She was in the hospital. I'm like, what happened? And she's like, oh, I came running out the door. I tripped over this basketball net, and she fell and she broke her arm. She called me at 3 a.m. I'm like, what? I haven't even been on a date with this girl yet, and I had to go to the hospital the next day to visit her. And then, like, I was like, we didn't even go on a date. It's like she seemed like a nice girl, but then, like, obviously
Nothing worked out.
Nothing worked out. But then she she was mad at me, like I broke her arm.
Like it was your fault.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been going on a date with you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, I deleted my account right there.
No wonder she thought you were as old as her father, referencing your MySpace. Do you? I know, Patrick. You are in a committed relationship.
Sure.
Was that? Did you use Tinder before the committed relationship?
No, I never really liked it.
Okay.
It
didn't seem like a good way to meet people.
No, people have to talk to me before they like me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a face value kind of guy.
You're not getting picked out of a lineup, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Matthew?
I have a fiance currently.
She won't be listening,
Who
though.
I actually met on Tinder,
Oh,
oddly
no
enough.
way!
Yeah. So
What? I didn't know that.
It's a weird story. I don't usually tell people we met on Tinder because it's like
Super
associated-
creepy.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
totally creepy and weird. But we matched on Tinder, and then she had her Instagram linked on her Tinder, so I hit her up on Instagram so that we didn't have to tell people we met on Tinder because I knew we were going to get married eventually. So
Wow.
I didn't want to tell people that we met on Tinder, even though I just told everybody on the radio that we met on Tinder. So.
Don't worry, nobody listens to this station, brother. It's all good.
Yeah.
Nobody will
But
know.
yeah, Tinder works.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
My cousin got married through my MySpace.
For
real.
Stop. Nobody. Manolis, stop going back to MySpace. It's dead,
when we get the
Manolis.
MySpace category, you can
It's
tell it.
dead.
All right, I give up.
MySpace stocks have gone up like 10% since this show started.
There are literally people driving around right now going,
He
What
does
if
have
I just
a,
I did buy stocks in it yesterday. I bought them all.
he does have a good MySpace love story though.
Okay, so
Okay.
you want to hear it?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
So my cousin, he's like my second. He's like my one of my top friends on. You have you display. You see your friends.
Yeah.
So this girl saw me at a Yuck Yuck show in Hamilton. She came because she heard that I was on the show and she was Greek and like shared it on her radio. And so she showed up. I said at the end of the show, add me on MySpace because I was trying to get followers.
Right.
She follows me, sees my cousin, thinks he's cute, adds him, and he's like, "Who are you?" And it's like, "Oh, I met your friend Manolis." So you go, "That's my cousin." They start talking. From there, it goes to like phone calls to like her going to Greece because he lives in Greece. They spend They spend the summer together.
Wow.
They spend the summer together. She goes back to Toronto. He leaves Greece, goes to Toronto. They live together for 2 years. I see him in Toronto. They get married and then tell me this at the wedding.
At the wedding is how the whole story of how they met.
Yeah, everything. They told me. I knew nothing. They told me that after at the wedding reception, they pulled me aside and I thought they were going to tell me to leave for some reason.
Because it's happened before.
Yeah, you've been drinking too much. You have to go. I'm like, and then they told me this, and I was like, literally I just blown away.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. That is a really cool story.
yeah, it's cool. It's depressing.
Are they
though,
still together?
Yeah, they are. They have 2
Okay.
kids, and
Excellent.
I can't find love.
Yes. Well, you know what? You need to bring MySpace back, obviously.
I know.
So
maybe that's my
maybe
secret.
that's it, eh? All right. We had a good go at Tinder. Everybody done swiping right on that subject?
Yes.
We're all
Swiping
good?
right.
Excellent. See, I know a little bit. I know a little bit
It's
about
funny. Why can't I laugh? Patrick laughs at
Thank
me
you,
because I'm
Manolis.
laughing at you.
Thank you, Manolis.
You're welcome.
That was funny. Patrick, your turn to spin the wheel of random topics. Let's hope you can do better than nice try. He had to get up from his chair and everything. And wow. What do we got?
What I got?
What do you
What does
win?
that say?
Number 6.
What prize does it say?
Booster
Something
juice,
juice.
strawberry.
Booster juice.
Do you know what that is? If this was a K-Light radio show, that would be $100 gift card for Booster
Oh,
Juice.
really? Oh, I get
But
nothing.
you're on Funny 820. It's too bad. You just get topic number 6, Patrick. Oh, here we go. Topic number 6. We're playing Friday at 4:20 with our local Hamilton comics, Patrick Coppolino, Manolis Sotonos, and our special guest Matt Ferguson. I'm Mike Neighbors, and Patrick Coppolino, not that far away from Tinder. The topic this time, du jour, is first date.
First date.
First date. Any first date, a first date that went horribly. Well, I don't want to know about one that goes well. That's no fun.
First date.
First date? You remember? Did you ever go on a first date?
Yeah, there was one first date I went on where we went for sushi and her tooth fell out.
Oh, wow, that was hard
That was-
sushi.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
candy-coated kind.
Um,
What happened? So she's just eating sushi?
yeah, and then she's like, "Oh no," she's all embarrassed about it. But I stayed with her for 4 years. So. I don't care how many teeth you
her
have.
only
Yeah,
tooth.
we got her another tooth. It's fine. We can fix that.
That's a good story. That's a
She
good
had
first
she had
date.
more teeth.
Yeah. What tooth was it? Was it?
No, it's one of the ones in the back. I
Oh,
wouldn't
okay.
even
It was
see
like
it.
all of a sudden drops a fronty, and you're like, "Whoa!"
Do tooths just drop out? Like, what do you mean? Like, they just aren't they rooted in, man?
Well, they should be in most people, but you can have one go, I guess, a little south or something. I don't know what. I don't know why that would have happened. Especially sushi. Like sushi is not.
Well, I think it
something-
was a tooth that had been capped already,
Oh,
and then it fell out.
And but you got a nice lengthy relationship out of that.
Yeah,
That
it
was
fine.
Was it your decision to take her on the first date for sushi, or her decision?
I think
or?
it was mine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think she'd ever had it before.
Oh, nice. And then it made her tooth fall out, and she never had it again.
You know, rice and salmon. It's very hard.
Very hard on the teeth. I don't even want to know about Manolis's first date story. Matt, do you have a?
This one's I went on a first date. I used to live in I lived in Woodstock, Ontario for a little bit, for a long bit actually.
Like on your way here to Hamilton from London, you stopped into Woodstock
I
for a
stopped
while?
there for like 10
Excellent.
years.
Excellent.
But I was living there and I started talking to a girl from Toronto, so I went to Toronto. I drove there for a first date and it went really well. We went out for a few drinks and she's stayed the night. I was like, sweet. But I had eaten beef nachos before I'd went to Toronto. And it turns out I got terrible food poisoning in Toronto. So I'm at a girl's house for the first time. We've had a few drinks. We go back to her place, and I start feeling like I'm going to throw up, and like middle of the night kind of stuff. So I go to throw up. Like I just think it's the booze.
Nice job
right?
censoring yourself. Thank you.
Caught myself. So I thought it was the booze. So I just go to the washroom and I throw up, and I'm like, I'm going to feel better in a bit. Like I'll just whatever. And then like I realize it's full blown food poisoning because I'm starting to like sweat and my stomach starts like gurgling terrible. And when it's your first time hanging out with a chick, you don't want to use her washroom, especially not when you're starting to feel like violent ill. Like I was ill.
This is gonna smell,
So
is
I had
basically what you're
so
saying,
I had to
yeah.
just dip, and like that's the worst thing you can do to a chick, especially when you just
Right.
you know you
What did
just
I
get
do?
to her place. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
like I gotta go. I don't feel good. And of course she doesn't believe me. She thinks I'm a jerk. So I dip in the middle of the night like a savage, and I just leave.
Savage.
Back to Woodstock.
And I head her back to Woodstock, and I don't even make it like halfway. I have to pull into a McDonald's and get like a supersized drink so that I can throw up into it while I'm driving and like throw it out the window and stuff. It was the worst, absolute worst
Oh,
first date,
dude.
and I ended up like Patrick dating that chick for about 4
Yeah.
years.
Well, it could have been so much worse if you're like, I don't feel good, I gotta go home, and she followed you because she didn't believe you, and she sees you go to the McDonald's drive-through.
Going to get more food.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great. So now we've two successful, horrible first dates that turned out to be
Did-
successful.
did
I
she-
can only imagine Manolis would have a similar experience.
She bailed me out.
Can't remember. I remember my first girlfriend.
Okay,
I guess.
well, you could swap topics if you want.
Well, like I think she was like the first girl I dated. Like
Right.
I don't think even. I think I just ended up being in this relationship with this girl, and then I made the mistake of telling. She's had experience. She wasn't a virgin.
Okay. He's trying to find a polite way to put it on the radio.
And I was, and she
Right.
asked me if I was a virgin or not.
Right.
And I'm like, God, no. And then,
Sure, you got to
Right?
play the bravado card. Yeah.
right? And I'm like, so she would ask me like, well, what have you done? And I just make up. I had a friend that was very promiscuous at the time. That's a fancy word. But,
That is a big one.
and he's like, so I would take his stories. I would take his stories and then tell them as they were mine.
Okay.
Perfect.
Right? So she thought I was like
Just Lothario.
Yeah.
Who just does women all over the place.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And then finally it was like she wanted to have our first time together was going to be New Year's. So whereas it was New Year's night, we're going to go upstairs.
That was it. You're going to ring in the new year
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
little. Action.
And I go up there as I'm walking up the stairs. You got to remember how long ago this is. I'm so old. There's no internet.
Sure. It's before the internet.
I know nothing. That's when it hits me, though, because I'm such an idiot that I'm like walking up the stairs and going, wait a minute. You know nothing.
You just have told her stories that you had heard, and you.
But I never thought to ask my friend, tell me what you actually
what
do.
steps?
Yeah.
How is this going to work?
So it obviously did not work out. And I was finished before it started.
Oh, in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Was it? Did you leave a virgin?
I was. I guess technically I was not a virgin anymore, but I was basically still a virgin. Basically, I think I'm the only person in the world that was more of a virgin afterwards. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Oh, the things that used to happen before the internet.
I lost my tooth that night. She didn't stay with me for 4 years.
No, the only one that didn't turn out long term, eh? All right, first states rule. We are playing Friday at 4:20 with our local comedians. Patrick Coppolino. I was almost said Patrick Santanos. I'm mixing and matching now. Patrick Coppolino, Manolo Santanos, and our guest, Matt Ferguson. Matt, the wheel is yours, my friend. Give it a spin. Random topic number
one.
Number one.
What else does our wheel say?
Nice try again.
Oh, another try again. Is there only the one prize on that wheel? No, we've got that thing rigged so we never give the booster juice away.
They're like participation ribbons.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's how we work that when we go out. Oh, Matt, something you're very familiar with, I'm sure, from when you were a younger man. Homework. Your topic is homework. Anything you want to say about homework?
I don't really have any crazy stories about homework. I just
because I never did any.
So we're at the strip club.
Actually, I'm super against homework. I think it's crazy that kids go to school all day and then they have to do homework when they get home. Like I can see if it's one little thing, but I remember teachers like stacking on homework at a young age. It's like I'm trying to play and like like ride my bike and enjoy myself. And they're like, you got to get ready for the real world. You're gonna have to do things you don't want to do. But it's like, but then my whole life I'm going to do things I don't want to do. I'm a kid right now. Just let me enjoy this, Yeah.
It's a completely valid point because there are schools now, school systems that have gotten rid of homework. There is no homework assigned anymore.
Is that a thing?
Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't know
because
that.
there are some people who are very much in favor of your idea. Kids can learn so much from play.
Crazy.
And how to play with each other and their other friends and stuff like that you're taking away the opportunity to learn some of those things.
And just overwork load. They found studies. Kids who didn't have homework actually did better in school than the ones
They
who
liked
did.
school.
Makes total
How much
sense.
did we all hate?
Wow. When did this change?
Yesterday.
Today.
I feel like I sprouted this change. Like, do I get an award or something?
I think in the last few years.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. A few school boards started trying some different experiments with it, and they were trying. I know for a fact that Barrie, the school board in Barrie, had eliminated homework for all younger grades, anything I think below grade 8.
That's amazing.
I completely agree with your take on it. Now, I was horrible. I was a horrible student. I hated homework.
Same.
I didn't do homework. Manolis, of course, was very studious.
Yeah.
Did you know what the word studious means?
Studious means it has something to do with studios. I know that. See?
What did you do? School was not one of your strong suits. I know that.
By far. I have so many stories. This one, though, is my favorite because my grade 3 teacher's name was Mr. Dressup. For real.
Oh, it wasn't. What are you talking about?
It's a TV show.
No, but his name was, I guess.
He was homeschooled.
Every day at 4, man.
Every day at 4, Casey and Finnegan would come out. Mr. Dressup had the puppets
I'm
going.
in class,
Are you
Bob.
sure it
It's
wasn't-
not bothering me. Where's my cheesecake?
It wasn't like Jessup or something, and you just thought it was
No,
Mr.
it's Mr. Dressup.
Well, I guess Dressup could be a last name.
My brother, you can ask my brother.
We're going to Google that.
Okay,
so
all right.
Mr.
Dressup. So by this point, I've really stopped trying altogether. I haven't.
What grade was that?
Grade 3.
Okay.
I'm not.
Most kids haven't thrown the towel in at 3.
I've literally given. I would not study for the spelling tests. like at all. Like so, like then I remember at one point I started trying, and I got stars for 3 weeks. You get a star or a circle beside your name every week for the spelling bee.
Right.
So it's like everybody's like a bunch of stars, a couple circles. Mine's all circles, all circles, all circles, 3 stars, and then I stopped trying again. Right. But during that period, I think we were near the end of the year. It was the hardest book of the year. Right. It's the last book that the class was reading. I had it at home. One day I was just bored. And I started reading it, and then I showed my mom. And then my mom showed my neighbor Eva, and she says to my mom, "It's like you have to make sure that Mr. Dress Up knows that he can do this." I didn't realize how bad I was doing. But it's
okay.
So I realized like this could save me, right?
Right.
So I read the book. I read the whole book. He's like, "Mr. Dress Up, can I read this book to you?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay." Right?
Challenging you.
Right. Like he doesn't even like no way, right? So I read the book perfectly, word for word. I did, and he looked, and I'm done. He looks at me, and all he says is this. He goes like this. He goes, "How?" He goes, "How did this happen?" That's all he said. He didn't say good job. He was in like literally like I remember so vividly. He was like he was so confused. How's this dude that doesn't fails at everything all year reads this book perfectly?
Wow. Killed it.
Yeah. And then I went to grade 3 and 4. I didn't even get that. That got me into grade 3 and 4. I went and then I was in special ed. It didn't get better. It just my life didn't get better.
That was
my peak. I peaked.
That was the high water mark.
That was the best I ever did at anything.
Oh my Lord! And so we didn't even touch on homework. You didn't do homework.
That was my homework.
Yeah, what did that?
That was I read the book at home.
Oh, I see. Okay,
and then I brought it to school. My kindergarten teacher got mad at me because every day or once a week you had to try to read all the colors of the balloons like this clown was holding, and if you got all the colors right, you get your name on the balloon. And every week, at the end of the year, my name was not on. Like every kid was on this stupid clown's balloons except mine. Because I couldn't remember pink.
We've opened up a wound here. I am so sorry.
Pink and purple. I'd go, which is like I go blue, red, green, yellow, and I get to like say the pink balloon. I go purple, and you're like, no, it's pink. I'm like, oh, and then the next week it would be the other way around. I go with the pink balloon. I go purple. I'm like, no, it's pink. I'm like, nah. She actually wounded me with her hand,
flicking
me in the face because I was during story time. I was doing the same thing to a book. I was like hitting it with my finger out of boredom, I guess. And then she started hitting my face in front of the class. And I was in shock. I looked at her. I'm like in kindergarten. So I'm like 10 years old, right? And she's like, you got that. But like she says right to my face, she goes, "How do you think the book feels?"
Oh, wow.
And that's why I never picked up a book ever again, because I thought they felt.
They were feeling.
John Wayne Gacy.
What?
And that's how he became John Wayne Gacy.
We've had some fun with you. We were awful mean to kids who struggled.
Right.
I mean, we've gotten so much better at dealing, much to Matt's point about not having homework. I mean, we're so much better at identifying kids who are struggling and helping them and not being mean to them by going, your name's never on the balloon. You got nothing but circles on the spelling bee chart that's for everybody to see.
Yeah.
I mean, that takes
I took a beating, dude.
You took a beating.
I'm going to cry.
But see, isn't that better? No, but didn't that force you to become...
What do you think? Now that you've been through it, do you like the idea of what we're doing, which is spending a lot of money and effort to work with kids who are struggling, or do you think you just come through what you come through?
I think it works for me because I am an idiot, so it worked. But I think there could be a middle ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that a lot of potential though was untapped because they never worked with you?
Yeah, exactly. There's no one really knew like how to get into my psyche,
right, or
whatever. Like knew how to like listen, dude. You know?
Yeah.
And I remember I had to do volunteer work when I was not for anything bad, and I was like I was in family studies in grade that's a class, right?
Sure it is.
In grade 11. And they made us go, like, I had to go volunteer at a school, and I was, like, literally in a kindergarten class. and the teacher goes, "Oh, talk to this girl, like this, read a book with her or something," which is hilarious because I can't read, right? And I'm like, okay. But after the session or whatever of me doing this volunteer, it's like, how is it? Like, and I said, "Oh, she's great. She wouldn't stop talking or something." And it's like, and the teacher's like, "She talked?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Oh, she doesn't talk." So like this
She
teacher
felt comfortable with you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you gotta. She probably thought like I'm smarter than this. This man child.
When you sat down with her and said, "I brought a book, but I don't read," she thought she had the upper leg. That was good, very comfortable. Patrick, Manolis has just been dominating with his horror story that is his education. Do you have any thoughts on homework? Were you a homework? You never did homework.
I was a good student.
Were you a good student?
Yeah, I graduated
Did you
with
need to do homework?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I don't have any stories. I just did my homework because I could read and stuff.
I could read and stuff.
Did you make video games or something?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I was like a nerd. So I was like, in high school, instead of like going to parties and stuff, I was like in my basement, like programming video games.
Oh, really? Eh? And so, and that
I
was,
created more homework for myself.
You like science and stuff like that?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But more so just, yeah, I just loved video games and movies and stuff. So I started making movies in high school and stuff.
Which is translated into what you do for a career now because you do all kinds of video
I didn't
editing?
realize that then, but yeah.
Right, yeah.
So I'm glad I did that, but
So you did your own homework.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's I was afraid after we got through Manolis, it was just like, yeah, there's no way we're gonna this can of worms can't be closed again. That's it. How about you spin the wheel? Whose turn is it?
I don't know.
Oh,
Is it mine?
no.
Manolis.
Mine. I can't
Manolis'
remember.
turn. All right, we've got we're short on time, so give it a spin. This is Friday at 4:20. Our comics: Patrick Coppolino, Manolis Santanos, Matt Ferguson. Manolis has spun.
Oh, number 3.
Random topic number 3. And did you win a prize that time?
Extra ballot for. What does it say?
Extra ballot. I think that's a ballot.
A lot.
Ball lot for. Well, what does that word
They
say?
didn't put a space.
Extra ballot for booster juice.
That word says ballot.
That's ballot.
A lot.
Ballot.
And you'll be voting in the upcoming election by casting your ballot.
What's the for? Ballot for? Ballot.
An extra ballot for booster juice.
Oh, see, you put 2 words together, man, and you can't do that with me.
And you know what? You just shored up everything you were just saying. It's fantastic. You really helped us out with that. So, because people listening are going, "Oh, he's just kidding. He's just playing a role.
I need space, dude.
Manolis is just playing a role." Oh no, he's not playing a role, ladies and gentlemen. It's the real Manolis Santanos. Standing in line, Manolis. What do you think about standing in line? That's your random topic. Do you like to stand in line? Do you avoid lines? Would you just go, "I don't need it. If it's line longer than 3 people long, I'm out. I don't care."
I love lines for one reason. I was in line at Eastgate years ago with my buddy. It was a CIBC. I'm waiting in a bank line. There's tons of people in front, tons of people behind. All of a sudden, I let this silent but deadly fart out, and it was like, like that one, and then my friend looks at me, goes, "Did you just fart?" And I start laughing. And I'm like, "Yep." And he just leaves me there. Now I'm just laughing, standing by myself in this line, and behind me the line starts to get. There's also now there's a space behind me
Because people are stepping back.
Yeah, and I'm sweating from laughing. So I love lines for that reason.
That's the best line story that you've got. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay,
that's a beautiful line story. Matt, what do you think about lines? Will you avoid lines or?
I'm belligerently impatient. Like it's a serious problem. I was at an Ottawa street food festival a couple weeks ago. There's some food trucks there, and there's one food truck called Chimneys. It's amazing ice cream with like these crazy cones, and I paid a lady $50 for her ice cream when she got it instead of waiting in the 40-person line.
Amazing.
And she gave it to me, and she went right to the back of the line and stood it in again.
Stood in line again.
Yeah. So
that is really avoiding lines.
Yeah, I hate lines.
You know what? That's a lot of money to pay for an ice cream. Was it good?
It tasted like the best ice cream I've ever had. Yeah, it was amazing.
Didn't have to stand in line.
I bet
for
it would have tasted better if I had stood in line for an hour for it, though, right? Like
No.
the wait, you know?
Well, it was about that long of a wait. It was a long.
I'd say it was at least an hour. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
That is. And you know what? I mean, money will buy you to the front of the line. American Express has built a whole business around it for concerts.
Other people get really like when I bought it off, they got mad. Like you could see people snickering.
But
or,
like you were cheating the system.
But it's like I didn't cut in line and pay someone to get in line. I bought her ice cream and she went to the back of the line. But people still hate that like capitalism look to it. Like it's just like the feel like you bought it out from some like person who probably only had the money for one ice cream. It's like I'm not rich. I'm just not going to eat the rest of the week because I wanted this ice cream.
Yeah.
Patrick, will you avoid lines? Are you drive through the drive-through guy, or are you stand in line?
I don't love lines, but I will say the TD Bank at Jackson Square here, they have a big TV and they play like Just for Laughs gags on it. And
nice.
I'm like, why doesn't every place do that? Because it does make the line a lot easier.
Yeah,
because you're distracted and you're watching something.
If you ever go to Disney World, that's how they deal with their lines. They put on a show. Like the whole time you're winding in a 3-hour line, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Right.
And you're like, you don't even realize you're in line. You're like enjoying the show and
care about the
screens
ride.
and things. It's fantastic. By the time you get to the ride, you're like, oh, that didn't seem like 3 hours. Then, of course, your trip to the park that cost you $150 is over because you just spent it in a line.
Yeah. I was gonna say you got to pay for the line and the ride.
That's what I mean. By the time I'm at the front of the bank, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have money.
I just came to watch
I
TV.
just leave. Yeah. I don't have cable, so I wait in line.
And finally, on our standing in the line topic, and I'm just going to ask you, Manolis, because it seems the most likely of the three in the room. Have you ever stood in a police line?
No, not an actual police line. I have my issues with the police. I almost got out of a seatbelt. I got a ticket for not wearing my seatbelt, and he goes, I gotta give you this ticket. It's like, come on. I go, come on, dude. Like this is like, no,
Dude.
sorry, man. Come on, dude. I'm like, he's like, nope. Like, dude, and then he's paused, and I almost had him, and he goes, no, like that.
He was thinking about it.
Yeah,
though.
I almost made him forget that he was a cop. He was like, "All right, dude, just get out of here. Don't do it again." I'm like, "All right, dude." I try to dude him like Darth Vader or like all like that Jedi mind
the
stuff.
Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
But
you
it's
got
a-
another one from a female cop.
Oh, that
Not
was-
for not wearing a seatbelt, for not wearing it properly. Which
oh,
is
yeah.
even worse.
Which is worse. I had you're in the car.
Yeah, I was in the
You're
car.
I should get rid of you. Like you're my bad luck, right? I had the seatbelt under my arm, and she.
So the shoulder belt you just had it tucked under your arm.
Yes, which is a $200 ticket, believe it or not.
Yes.
And it's only half the ticket, I guess, because I'm half saving my body, I guess.
But why was it under? Was there a reason that it was?
I just like because it's summertime and
Oh,
it rubs
and it
on my
chafes-
neck and
it
it's
chafes
chafes,
a little,
and I
right.
think something was going on with my neck. I don't
Okay.
know what. And there's something always going on.
I thought maybe under the arm would make it easier to roll while driving. Anyway, I was just.
She says to me, what does she say? Like asking me. Oh, she said, why did the cop check your plates today? So I guess it came up on her thing that a cop was behind me and pulled up my plate.
Okay.
See? But I didn't get pulled over. I didn't even know. I'm like, I don't know. He didn't pull me over. I can't tell you what he was thinking.
Right.
But if you want, we can like call them together. Like I was talking to her like she was an idiot, and I said to her at some point, I said, I don't know what to tell you, hon.
Oh.
And that was it.
Yeah,
She
she
goes,
was like, don't ever call me hun.
Don't call me
And she
hun.
walked to her car and we're like, oh, you're getting a ticket.
Done.
Oh, it's.
I got a
spun around
ticket
on
for
you.
saying the word hun, not for not wearing my
No.
seatbelt. Yeah.
You know what you should have tried with her, dude.
Dude, right? I should have dude her. Yeah.
Dude, because the dude wouldn't have gotten you in trouble. Han got you in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, always remember that. You dudes have all been awesome. Thank you so much for playing Friday at 420. You know what? It's going to award the funniest guy in the room, but really?
They can't see me. I don't know.
Matt Ferguson.
I think so.
Matt Ferguson, thank you so much for being here, playing local Hamilton comedy clubs. You going out on to do some touring?
Yeah, I'll be around. I think in a couple of months we're going to go out west and tour, but right now I'm just doing some local shows.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Then keep an eye out for Matt Ferguson, Manolo Santanos, Patrick Coppolino. Thank you so much for being here as always. This is Friday at 420 on Funny 820. Have a great weekend.
That was great. Should you?